Does that make sense to you all?
Is there a reason why we would do the way you did it the first way rather than the second way?
I like the second way better. The book shows it the first way.
Okay. That's
But you know what? What do I care? I want the answer. I think the second way is easier. The first way to me confuses me. So I like the second way. The book shows it that first way, and I'm trying to help you so you're going to get the same answer. Okay, now number 16. On its acquisition date, consolidated balance sheet, what amount should True Value report as patented technology? So basically they're asking us, what is the fair value of the patented technology? And then we're going to look at what True Value has as patented technology. True Value shows patented technology of 230. Okay? Historical cost or book value. But because we're purchasing this company, and we're going to report everything that we're purchasing at fair values, we're going to keep our book value of patented technology, but we're going to add the $200,000 fair value from what we're acquiring. So our patented technology, once we combine them, is going to be $430,000. It's not going to be 230 plus 180 because we have to use fair value of the company we're acquiring. So the correct answer should be 430. Now, on its acquisition date, consolidated balance sheet. Again, guys, remember, Chapter 2, everything is the acquisition and the consolidated balance sheets happen at the same time. Chapter 3 is going to add a little twist in it. We consolidate after the acquisition date, so we have to do some adjustments. But for now, let's stay on Chapter 2. But I just want you to understand that they keep saying the consolidation on its acquisition date. On its acquisition date, what should we report as common stock? So remember, we are going to get rid of the equity section of Webstat. We are going to only report True Values equity section now. So the value of the common stock, remember, we only use par values, don't we? So do you see here the common stock here was $300,000 from True Value? Then what we did to purchase Webstat, we issued 10,000 shares with a par value of $5. We know the fair value was 40, but the common stock section only deals with the number of shares times the par value. So the common stock would be 350. Why? The 300 we show here, we're wiping out Webstat's equity section, plus the 50,000 shares, the 10,000 shares we bought at the par value of $5 a share is $5. So wouldn't it be 350,000? So let me just show this for you. So we've got the common stock of True, 300,000. Then we issued some additional common stock to purchase the company. That was the purchase of 10,000 shares times the par value of $5 a share, 50,000. So the new consolidated common stock is going to be 350. Okay? on its acquisition date, consolidated balance sheet, what amount should True Data report as retained earnings as of July 1st? So, on July 1st, what are we going to report as retained earnings? If you look here, this true value shows here retained earnings. We have to figure out retained earnings as of January 1st is $130,000, isn't it? So we're going to start with a balance of $130,000. So true values, January 1st retained earnings. Do you guys mind my little RE abbreviations? Do you guys understand them? 130. Now we have to figure out what True Value's net income is. True Value net income between 1/1 through June 30th, don't we? Don't we? So, if we go back here and look, we've got revenues of $250, right? We've got expenses of $170. So what does that make our net income? Okay, guys, you're not even listening.
80,000.
Thank you. Is it 80? Yes, it is 80. So we've got True Value's net income. We started with the beginning balance. We added our net income of 80,000. Did they pay out any dividends? I don't think there were any dividends showing. So now our acquisition date, retained earnings, is what? $210? That makes sense? We are buying the company as of July 1st. We're not going to show any of their income because we're buying everything as of that date. Okay? We're merging them into us. Next. Well, that's it for that one. Okay, now this is helpful, number 19, because basically it explains when do we continue to hold on to an intangible asset and when do we dissolve it or not show it as in our new consolidated figures. So there are two guidelines for recording it and holding it. It's got a legal right, or we can sell it on its own. Okay? Prykel Company merges with Interbuy Inc. and acquires several different categories of intangible assets, including trademarks, customer lists, copyrights on artistic materials, agreements to receive royalties on leased intellectual property, and unpatented technology. What's the criteria for determining whether an intangible asset acquired in a business combination should be separately recognized apart from goodwill? Remember that one slide? There are two reasons. Basically, if that technology or that intangible arises from a contractual or other legal right, and if it can be recognized as an asset that could be separated and sold on its own. If we have the ability, because we have some technology we can sell to someone else, then we can keep it on our books. Okay? Under 2 reasons. Guys, know that. Know those 2 reasons. Okay? For each of the acquired intangibles listed, identify which recognition criteria may or may not apply in recognizing these intangibles on the acquiring firm's financial statements. So let's look at each one and say, hey, are we going to be able to keep them or not keep them? Trademarks. They generally can be sold, right, on their own. And generally those trademarks also do have legal criteria associated with those trademarks. If we look at copyrights on artistic material, they can also be sold separately, and they usually have contractual rights or obligations also. If we look at agreements to receive royalties on leased intellectual property, we can't really sell an agreement to receive a royalty, but they definitely have a legal or contractual obligation, right? It's in writing somewhere we're receiving that. Then, unpatented technology, we're going to be able to sell that if it's separated, so we would be able to show that also. Usually there might not be a legal or contractual right. If there is, it's good, but for sure, if it's unpatented technology that we can turn around and sell separate on its own, definitely we can keep that on the books then. Does that make sense? Now, I know we did this one. Do you guys want to continue to go over 20? Is this helpful? Mm-hmm. Who wants to do a 20? Ooh.
We can do it. I didn't see the watch.
Ooh. Do you want to do 20? You're looking at your watch.
Oh, I don't have a watch. This thing is breaking apart.
Oh, okay. Okay. So let's look at